We know Savage Henry looks really good on a lot of his characters. The Lynx, obviously, something he's very strong on. But listen, Mango Butter's no slouch. He's got the Rob that he's looked very good on. He's got the Pyro and Mithra that he's looked very good on. It's about setting that momentum and starting right here, right now. Game 1, we're going to get the Rob against the Link. And I think this is a very, very good taste of what we might get for the rest of the series.
3, 2, 1.
This is, I think, going to be a real tone setter as well, right? Because the Adult Link, not necessarily the most comfortable as we've seen, just from it not necessarily being the starter for Savage Henry, but I think it's been one of his most consistent, right? The young Link at the start, his self-proclaimed favorite Link, not getting as many wins on the board, often taking a loss here or there. So seeing him lean towards this one, obviously, you know, we're going to see the Little Mac later on in this series, I'm sure. But still, this is
oh my gosh.
That's painful. That's so rough. I think he thought he had the grab, was trying to mess around a little bit. Stage spiked with a bomb. I mean, does just go to show some of the things you can get away with on the Adult Link as opposed to the others. Maybe that's why he's coming into the, you know, the front of the lineup, at least on the Link tab for Savage Henry.
Yeah, and something I noticed is, like, earlier in the series or in the season, we don't see things like that from Savage Henry. Maybe it's something he picked up and just like learned about, and he's like, hey, let me try that out in games. And it's something that'll catch you off guard if you're not expecting it. You know, moments that you should be, you know, teching or just be cognizant of, oh, that might happen. Obviously, Mango Butter caught off there, but he's putting on some damage here, and he is close to finding a kill confirmed here, maybe with a down throw or even an up throw on platform. But so much damage being put on the Rob here from the Link.
I mean, Rob's finally starting to answer back, but I mean, as you're saying, the pressure from the Link is just constant, and
there it is, yeah.
You need moments like that where you can catch their, you know, their drop option, and really just get away with the range on that other point.
Yeah.
You can't fall back into that. I feel like, you know, Mango Butter really did just want to have that rage, use it to try and chip off a little bit this stock. You don't have to necessarily, you know, win the stock back when you're already at 133. But getting 50-60% certainly helps out the, you know, the hill you gotta climb.
Yeah, and you see here, Mango Butter's trying to play it a little more patient, trying to get that spacing, trying to just find his opportunity to approach. But that's so hard with the Link, because the Link's going to shoot an arrow at you, throw that boomerang, use the bomb. There's so many options that the Link has to try to, you know, keep that Rob distance. And that's where the Rob excels, is up close. He has a side B to try to shoot back any of those projectiles, but Link has been so smart about all of the approaches. And again, doesn't get the tech. And just like that first stock, the third stock will be taken just the same.
We got a couple quarters to put into the tech jar. Oh, that one. And I mean, honestly, the neutral didn't look bad, I will say, from Mango Butter. He had some good opportunities. Obviously, he was still getting notched here and there, but it certainly wasn't, you know, him just getting completely blown out in that space. And both of those stage spikes were at like 80-90%. So it's also cheesing these stocks out a little earlier than, you know, maybe they deserve to go. So I'm going to say, while that was a stellar performance on the Adult Link, I definitely don't think that it should be anything like super indicative of where this series is going, with two of those stocks, again, being pretty cheesy. It's a very legitimate way to get the stock, and a stock is a stock. But if you're talking about, you know, neutral play, if you're talking about, you know, the rest of the lineup, I think this Rob's still feeling pretty good. I think that Mango Butter's just control of the stage was looking a lot better than we've seen it in previous weeks. So that makes me feel good about the Aegis, about the Roy coming through, and even the Mario, right? I think all of these just feel a little better if he's that confident on stage against a player like Savage Henry.
Talk about Mario undefeated.
Yeah, the Mario is undefeated. I'd like to say he is 2-0. So, you know, maybe with a grain of salt. But going back to the matchups, it's big thing to remember here as we try to remind ourselves and everyone watching at home is we do things a little differently here. We have a roster, as you see on the screen, of, you know, 4 to 8 characters. And once you win with a character, you cannot use them anymore. It is a best of 5. So on Mango Butter's side, you know, the positive of this is, hey, the Link's off the table. You know, I don't have to worry about that down B being as strong as it is, because on the other characters, I don't think it's as strong as the Adult Link. Regardless, he's not going up against the Link right here. He's going up against the Cloud, which is no slouch itself. The Cloud is 4-2. So
the
maybe
Cloud's
not
good.
getting as many reps, but still very scary to deal with.
I mean, I think we also have to remember, I want to say that this Cloud went 0-2 and then has just won 6.
Yeah.
On top of that, right? So this Cloud took a little bit of
Wow.
labbing to, to get online, but as we can already see, it's right there. Just, immediate 80% stock
my
lead
God,
and
yeah.
the limit to finish the job. This is, again, a very, very scary Cloud, and you really just can't give it much space. We know that Mango Butter really likes to spam out that side B, but, with Savage Henry's Cloud, it's not going to get as much value as I think, Mango Butter's used to getting, and especially on his character that he kind of relies on to get that first win of the series.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's looked like all Cloud. It just looks like the Aegis can't find an opening at all. I mean, so often you think of like the neutral game, even like the smash attacks, but Cloud isn't even at a percentage where Pyra can really kill off the smash attack.
I mean, maybe you get a half to fully charged F smash will probably do it. Here, because we're on Smashville, I think a back air will do it as well.
Oh,
but
that back air almost killed that Cloud.
yeah, we take those. We take those.
Was
For the Butter Gang, I think
for the
that's
Butter
the
Gang.
one take those, spam in
100%.
the chat.
If you're the Butter Gang, you better hope for maybe a couple more of those, because Savage Henry is not the kind of guy to give up stocks just like that. But already
That
looking,
spot, we see the jab chain, and I think we saw some of it last week as well. I want to see more grabs coming through from Mango Butter. I think so often he feels like he can't just get something going. I think a lot of the time it's because you can't get a grab, and obviously right there, just kind of stuck in place, charging up, hoping to make that one work. But if you look for a few of these grabs, I think it's going to throw Savage Henry. I think he's going to throw him off. I think it's definitely going to give you more opportunities to just sneak through with the kind of combos you're used to getting. But obviously right now, he's not needing any grabs to tack on another 50%.
yeah, I would like to see more grabs as well. I think Pyra and Mithra combos, a lot of them do start with grabs. If not grabs, up tilts. And those are two things that we really haven't seen too much. The aerial game is great. You love it. But when you really get started on those combos, you want to use that up tilt and as that grab, as you mentioned. But already, you're fighting for your life at this point in the game. You don't want to die, especially not to a down B with the limit. One of the little cheeky moves that Cloud has doesn't do a lot of damage, but a lot of knockback.
I mean, it's
Just
giving
like
me
that.
hero flashbacks, honestly. Earlier in the
It kinda
season, it
does.
just got the same visual.
Deal.
Obviously much smaller hitbox, but right there, that last sequence, Pyro just couldn't touch the ground. I mean, I think a lot of it was coming through, a lot of reactive air dodges coming through from Mango Butter. A lot of just like, let me out, I'm spamming dodge, and then you don't give yourself an option to land with. I think as well, just Savage Henry had his number on the recoveries, and as we saw in the replay, it was just getting those timings down. And even earlier on that first stock, it was just a call out with the side special when he had limit. And it's knowing your hitboxes and just catching your opponents when they don't have a resource to sneak past you. So going into this one, it's really, really tough, of course. Not getting that win in the second round means that if you do win this one, you're getting counterpick the rest of the way down. And it just adds that extra level of difficulty, into making the reverse sweep. But I think part of it is also just Mango Butter, cool down a little bit. You're facing a tough opponent. Yes, he's going to play quick. Yes, he's going to be really aggressive. But sometimes the answer isn't rushing your moves. It's actually just being a little bit more deliberate. It is, okay, he's sub 40%. Let's just find an opportunity to grab. Let him get a little aggressive. Let him hit my shield, and let's grab him after the fact. It's those kind of moments where your instinct is always to speed up against a player who's pressing the pace. But sometimes, in order to go up, you got to go down a little, right?
Bars.
Wow. Okay.
This is
I don't.
disrespect.
You could have given me 10 guesses, and I don't think I would have ever guessed the Olimar to the King DD. Yeah, I got nothing for you, Turbo. I really don't.
We had
Going into this one, I'm just going to say a little bit of lore for anyone who wasn't watching last season. King DDD, if I'm not mistaken, was undefeated from Mango Butter and was, the real shining star of the Butter Gang last season. A big part of his, run and putting him at the top of the lower bracket. Unfortunately, again, did get knocked out in that first round of playoffs, but still looked really competitive going into the tail end of the season. And a lot of those series were because of the DDD. It was because of this character that he just had so much comfort on. So now it got snatched away by Savage Henry in the draft, and he's using it to try and finish the sweep. Again, I said it when we were coming in, that's just disrespectful, but I love the option for the Olimar, but also the Fat Man can just sit on you, and that's a coffin baby. and King DDD's belly is sometimes a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, you just got to remember with that dash attack, it has a lot of end lag. So if you can catch him doing that, you can basically get any sort of punish you want up against it. But also, kind of thinking about the Olimar playstyle into the DDD, the Olimar very much wants to kind of keep his space. He wants to keep hucking those Pikmin. He wants to try to find that purple Pikmin that you see he does have there. And the purple Pikmin, if you guys know, being thrown or used as a smash attack does a lot of damage. But instead, he just hucks it off stage. So I don't need you. I'm going to find another way to finish this stock.
Oh, that's a tough jump there, just getting caught out. And it's those little moments that really, really hurt if you're a part of the Butter Gang. Is the light callouts, the disjointed moves that sometimes come out from the DDD, and that we've seen really all night. And now he's just struggling to find that, that finisher. And these purples just not quite landing again. Like if you can
Wow.
he gets two framed with the Gordo sitting there.
All right, here we go. Long road to climb back, but again, and that's the hard thing about it because the Gordos are just so good at, dealing with the Olimar standing that far. But you really just want to keep hucking these Pikmin. Let the Pikmin do the work for you. Start tacking on that damage as you see a little bit from the yellow one. But again, every time you throw a dash attack, it's just killing all of the Pikmin.
Oh.
This is not Brawl. He will still have a recovery even with no Pikmin available. Oh my gosh, okay. Avoiding the dash attack.
Perfect. And we can already see Savage Henry's fishing a little bit. He knows that this Olimar is kind of in kill percent, but it's, giving yourselves openings. Finding those opportunities is every single hit off stage. You've just got to start holding your breath. But, I mean, if a comeback were to start, what a way to get it going with the Olimar against the DDD. I mean, this is a chance. And what's tough is Olimar doesn't really kill off the top. He kills off the side of the stage, and each time he gets hit, it's just one step closer. As throwing back the Gordo at him, that's a good way to start. Just not quite able to get the kill, and I feel like we are just moments away from either of these two taking the stock. And, that really does define what we're going to be seeing. Is King DDD so floaty. He's heavy.
Oh my gosh.
The
I thought he was going to get a shield broke.
I thought he dropped shield and was just dead. I thought it too. I had the same mental.
Well, I'm pretty sure DDD, if the shield's timed incorrectly, can just break shield in that situation.
Yep, he can. It does just kind of break shield.
Oh, the helmet's cracked.
Oh. Poor kid.
But you have to consider, that was a pretty close matchup. I mean, it wasn't all one-sided. It was pretty good. The Olimar fought back there at the end, but again, the Gordos are just so hard to deal with.